What if the reason you're spending more money isn't because you earn more, but because money no longer feels real? Think about it. When was the last time you actually held cash and felt it leave your hand? Today, we tap a screen, swipe a card, or click a button, and just like that, it's done. No wait, no physical loss, no emotional reaction. But here's the scary part. When money becomes invisible, our self-control can become invisible too. And that silent shift is changing the way we spend, save, and even fall into debt without us realizing it. So what really happens when money stops feeling real? Let's talk about it. There was a time when money had weight. You could feel it in your hands. You could count it, stack it, fold it, and physically watch it disappear when you paid for something. Handing over cash was a small but powerful moment. It created awareness. It created hesitation. It made spending feel real. Today, that moment is almost gone. Now, we tap, we swipe, we click, we scan. Transactions happen in seconds, often without us even looking at the numbers. The money leaves our accounts silently. No physical exchange, no sensory feedback, no emotional signal that something of value just left our possession. And that shift from physical money to invisible money is quietly transforming how we think, how we behave, and how we spend. In this video, we're exploring what happens when money stops feeling real, and why the consequences are bigger than we think. Human beings are emotional decision makers. Even when we believe we are being rational, our brains are constantly influenced by subconscious triggers. Money is no exception. When you pay with cash, your brain experiences something psychologists call the pain of pain. This isn't just a metaphor. Neurological studies show that spending physical money activates areas in the brain associated with loss and discomfort. You feel the transaction, but when you use a credit card, a mobile wallet, or an online payment system, that emotional response is significantly reduced. The transaction becomes abstract. It becomes a number on a screen rather than a tangible loss. And when spending doesn't feel painful, it becomes easier. This is why multiple behavioral economic studies have found that people tend to spend more when using cards instead of cash. Restaurants see higher average bills when customers pay digitally. Online shoppers are more likely to add extra items to their cart when the payment process is frictionless. Even subscription services rely on this invisibility. Small recurring payments that are barely noticed but accumulate over time. Invisible money reduces friction, and friction, as small as it may seem, is often the only thing standing between discipline and impulse. Convenience is one of the greatest achievements of modern financial technology. Digital wallets, contactless payments, buy no pay later systems, all of these tools are designed to make transactions effortless, and they succeed. But here's the paradox. The easier spending becomes, the less conscious we become about it. When you hand over cash, you see exactly how much you have left. When you tap a card, you don't see your remaining balance unless you deliberately check it. And most people don't check it in the moment. They rely on trust. Trust that there is enough, trust that it will be fine, trust that it won't matter. Over time, this changes our relationship with money. Spending becomes detached from earning. Numbers replace physical limitation. Financial boundaries feel flexible rather than fixed. This is especially powerful in a world dominated by online shopping. Digital platforms are engineered to remove obstacles. One-click purchases eliminate hesitation. Saved card details eliminate pause. Automatic renewals eliminate reminders. The result is a system where money moves faster than reflection. We are no longer just using digital money occasionally. We are living inside fully digital financial ecosystems. Salaries are deposited electronically. Bills are paid automatically. Investments are managed through apps. Even tipping is digital. Children grow up watching their parents pay with phones instead of cash. For younger generations, physical money is becoming unfamiliar. Coins feel outdated. Cash feels inconvenient. The entire perception of value is shifting toward digits and dashboards. And with that shift comes a subtle psychological transformation. When money is represented as a fluctuating number on a screen, it can feel infinite even when it's not. The disconnect between physical labor and digital spending becomes wider. You may work hours to earn income, but spending that income happens in seconds. The speed difference between earning and spending creates imbalance, and imbalance creates vulnerability. One of the most significant consequences of invisible money is the acceleration of debt accumulation. Credit systems are built on delayed consequences. You receive the benefit now. You feel the cost later. When this system combines with frictionless digital payments, the psychological barrier to borrowing weakens. Buy now, pay later services are a prime example. They divide payments into smaller pieces, making purchases appear more manageable. But splitting the cost does not eliminate the cost. It simply disguises it. When money is invisible and payment is delayed, spending feels almost consequence-free until the bill arrives. The danger isn't the technology itself. It's the emotional distance between action and impact. When consequences are delayed and abstract, our brains underestimate them. Invisible money creates a time gap. And in that gap, financial discipline can disappear. Technology does not just enable behavior, it shapes behavior. Digital payment platforms are designed for speed, simplicity, and engagement. Notifications reward spending with confirmation messages. Loyalty programs gamify purchases. Cashback offers create the illusion of saving while spending more. Each of these elements conditions the brain. Spending becomes associated with convenience and even reward. The discomfort once linked to parting with money fades. Over time, the emotional relationship with money shifts from caution to casualness. And because this shift happens gradually, it often goes unnoticed. We don't wake up one day feeling financially reckless. Instead, we slowly adapt to a system that removes the signals that once kept us grounded. Invisible money doesn't just affect individuals, it affects culture. Consumerism thrives in low-friction environments. When spending feels seamless, consumption increases. Businesses optimize checkout experiences to reduce hesitation. Entire industries are built around instant gratification. At a macro level, this contributes to rising consumer debt, reduced savings rates, and greater financial instability for households. Financial literacy becomes more critical than ever. In a world where money is abstract, understanding budgets, interest rates, and long-term consequences is no longer optional. It's survival. The challenge is that education often lags behind innovation. Technology evolves faster than behavior adapts, and society is still learning how to emotionally navigate invisible money. So the question becomes, if money is no longer physical, how do we restore awareness? Some experts suggest intentional friction, turning off one-click purchasing, reviewing transactions weekly, using budgeting apps that visualize spending patterns clearly. Others recommend hybrid approaches using cash for discretionary spending while keeping digital systems for fixed expenses. The goal is not to reject digital money. It's to rebuild the emotional feedback loop that cash once provided. Because at its core, the issue is not technology, it's perception. Money has not changed in value, but our perception of it has changed dramatically. And perception drives behavior. Money today moves faster than ever before. It travels through invisible networks, across borders, across platforms, across devices. But while money has become digital, its consequences remain real. Bills must still be paid. Debt must still be managed. Savings must still be built. Financial security still requires intention. The challenge of our generation is not just earning money in a digital world, it is staying conscious in a frictionless one. When money stops feeling real, we must create new ways to make it visible again, because awareness is power. And in a world of invisible money, awareness may be the most valuable asset we have.